Stock that has kept the flag flying in the mid-cap space has been Tata Power. It's a strong quarterly performance, and that stock started off with a 5% gain, is still up 3%. The big takeaway from the results also is the company's plan to reduce debt. That was a very big one. Reduce debt by 48%. And how do they plan to do this in this tough macro environment? These and other questions to Mr. Praveer Sinha, Managing Director and CEO of Tata Power, who's just joining us. Good morning, Mr. Sinha. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. Take us through this operational performance. It's quite steady considering the quarter we went through.
Good morning, and thank you for having me on the show. The performance of Q4 has been very good. PAT has increased after exceptional items by nearly 177%. Our EBITDA has also gone up by nearly 6% from 1901 crores to 2013. But this has been the consistent way the company has performed in all the 4 quarters. On an overall basis for the whole year, the EBITDA has grown by nearly 15% from 7,235 to 8,317. So basically what we are seeing is all our plants are operating at full capacity, our renewables are working at full capacity, and so also the performance of our distribution and transmission businesses continue to perform at the rated performance level. So there is a lot of consistency that has come in the performance of the company, and that is reflected in the results that we have been seeing right through the year.
Mr. Sinha, I get the discussion started on the supposed power sector reforms as well before I hand it over to Sonia. What are the DISCOM overdues for you, and has any progress been made in this PFC giving money to DISCOMs who are supposed to pay the GENCOs?
What we have seen that our payments, mostly for our conventional generation, that is our coal-based and hydro plants, have been coming consistently. We've not seen any blip in that. Our payments we get within 13 days because most of these are in the merit order and they are very, very low-cost power. And the state DISCOMs definitely pay for these power before they pay the other expensive power. As far as the renewables is concerned, we have a 3-month cycle of payments, and within 90 days we get most of our payments. So there has not been any reduction in the receivables that we have seen in the earlier months, and we have seen even in the month of April and May the receivables have been coming from the state DISCOM. As far as the package which the Government of India has given to PFC and REC, we expect that the impact of it will be seen in next 2 to 3 weeks when we will have the money flowing from PFC to the state DISCOMs. This will definitely help all the GENCOs and the transport companies who will be paid directly by PFC once the documentation is completed by the state DISCOM. The only place where we have been having certain delay in payment is in UP for our Prayagraj plant. And we expect that payment also will get liquidated once the loan is received by UP Power Company. So that's where we are. We feel that this was a good move of the government, and this will help to liquidate the outstandings which is there for mainly the conventional generation plants, including the CPSUs. And hopefully for next few months, this will stabilize the receivable position of all the GENCOs.
Okay. Mr. Sinha, your voice is going up and down because of the quality of the call. Why don't we take a break and we'll redial and hopefully have a sturdier line in our chat with Mr. Praveer Sinha of Tata Power.
Brought to you by Fortune Rice Bran Health Oil, healthy se bhi zyada healthy oil, and Amul, the taste of India.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
This is TV18 and you're watching CNBC TV18.
Brought to you by Matkar Forward, issued in public interest by TikTok.
Hi, welcome back. As promised, we resume our conversation with Praveer Sinha of Tata Power. The stock Tata Power is up 5% now on the back of good numbers and of course commentary from Mr. Sinha as well. Mr. Sinha, morning. The one thing that really enthused the street this time around is your commentary on debt reduction. You have a plan to reduce your debt by 48% in the next 1 year. But can you give us some indication of how you plan to do that? Because I do know that, you're planning a fundraising via the InvIT route. There is a stake sale of your renewable assets as well that is in the pipeline. Anything in this calendar year, or is it too soon to tell given how challenging the environment is?
I think for last 1 year, we have been working on our divestment plan. We wanted to deleverage our balance sheet, and we have got small success in terms of divesting the South Africa investment. We got the money in the month of April, and we have now in the pipeline divestment plans for the shipping business, which we hope to conclude in this quarter. And then we will have another 2 or 3 investments which we have outside India, which we will be divesting: the coal company, one of the smaller coal companies, and the ITPC Zambia investment. At some stage, we will also look at divesting the Georgia plant, which fortunately has started working. And all this will go to just reduce our debt. We are not going to use this money for any growth opportunity. This will bring down our debt substantially. In addition to that, we are also looking at putting a structure together, which is actually work in progress, of our renewable business. We foresee a huge growth opportunity, but for the growth, we need to restructure the business. The actual details of it is still being worked out, and hopefully in the next few months, we will be coming back with the full details of the divestment and how all this will help us to reduce our debt going forward.
Now I'm going to ask you a question of increasing your debt. We understand that the Delhi unit of Reliance Infra is up for the grabs. They may likely sell it. You'll be an interested buyer?
We are not looking at that opportunity as yet. So once we examine it, we will be able to respond. But at this stage, we are not
okay.
in
Any fresh distribution business? I mean, the government announced that they're going to privatize distribution in all the union territories. That's not a great deal, is it?
It's a great deal. All the union territories have huge potential, and we will definitely be looking at many of these places, starting from J&K to Ladakh to Chandigarh to Puducherry. All of them are very good opportunities for us, and Daman and Diu, in fact, has huge opportunities. So I think we will be looking at all these opportunities going forward. Also, what we need to look at it is that this is the first time Government of India has come with a large scheme for going for privatization of distribution in UT. The success of this will possibly give opportunity to other states also to follow the privatization route. So I think it's a great opportunity for us to take forward, and this is one of the big structural change that we saw in the recent times from the announcements the finance minister made, apart from the tariff policy. So I think all in all, it looks like the distribution sector will go through a huge change, and we will be actively participating.
Okay, it's great to hear such optimistic comments. I think what stayed with me is the fact that receivables have been trickling in from Discom, so that's positive. But on that note, since the lockdown has eased across many states in the country, how has the power demand situation been? Is there any improvement? And also on the working capital side, any kind of relief that you've seen in the last couple of weeks?
We have seen that the pickup in demand has happened in last 2 to 3 weeks after the restrictions were eased out in few of the places. And the demand, which had gone down by nearly 30-35% in the month of March and beginning April, is now in the range of about 10 to 15%. So we definitely see a huge pickup in the demand. And we hope that once the lockdown is lifted in the later part of the month, possibly we will be back to normal. So it's a good sign that is happening. Factories and industries and commercial establishments are opening up, and there is a pickup in demand. But I think it will take some more time before it catches up and it is at the same level as it was before the lockdown.
Can't let you go without asking you about the Mundra tariff revision. What's the latest?
Well, the last thing that happened was on 20th of March, there was a meeting with the Ministry of Power, which was attended by all the 5 states. 2 of the states very categorically said that they are going ahead to sign the revised PPA. The opinion which came from the Additional Solicitor General did mention that separate PPAs can be entered. And I think that gave an opportunity for these 2 states to take a call. Unfortunately, after that, there has been lockdown and all the state governments have been tied up in addressing the lockdown issues. Hopefully, once the lockdown is lifted and the situation stabilizes, we'll see traction on that.
Okay. Thank you very much for spending so much time with us, Mr. Sinha.
Thank you very much.
The stock still flying high, 4.5% higher on Tata Power stock. The second best performing stock in the mid caps. Okay, let's now get to the fixed income market. There have been surprising changes both on the supply side and the demand side. On the demand side for bonds, the market regulator, that is SEBI, has now allowed a whole range of debt funds, PSU and AAA funds and other categories of mutual funds to increase their exposure to government securities and treasury bills. And this amounts to an extra 15% of the assets of these schemes, which at an industry level could approximately mean another 30,000 crores, 31,000 crores. How much of this could flow to government bonds, and as well, what are the prospects of these bonds given the increased offer from states? For all these questions, B. Prasanna, Head Global Market